Alright, so good evening everyone. I was asked this week to do an OSL video. Now, I am not an OSL expert, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick introduction to what OSL is, and I'm going to use the librarian that I've painted 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to add a touch of OSL to it. I'm actually going to do a in-depth video later down the road, but I'm probably going to do that one on the bus or something like that, because I find that the 28mm scale is a little bit awkward for learning that type of thing. So we're going to switch to a larger scale model basically in a couple of weeks. So hang on, we're going to look at the librarian, and I hope that you enjoy. Alright, here we go. So librarian is on deck. And with that, we're essentially going to select the areas that we're going to do OSL. So basically, every type of reflex that the sword gives and the hand. We're going to use blue and quick shade mixing medium. We're going to concentrate our effort on the sword and on the glove of the librarian. So mixing the blue and the quick shade medium will basically allow to get some transparency out of the mix of the blue. The thing is, we don't want to go full glaze on the blue, because mixing the water with the blue sometimes gives you a little bit of a sketchy finish on the mini, but doing the mix with the quick shade mixing medium will allow a easier and faster transparency on the model. So I'm currently preparing the mix, and this is how transparent the color is. So the sword has some reflection going on the scroll. This is what I'm doing. I'm putting some blue on the cape of the guy as well. Not too much, just a little bit. Now, the important thing here is to let the paint dry. I can't say this enough. I keep saying this all the time. So you don't go back until the paint is dry. Now I decided to do some on the hand as well to show kind of psychic ability, and I'm picking up some areas on the hand. The thing is, you need to be thinking into what would where the light is originating, in this case the palm of the hand, and from the palm of the hand, what are the parts of the miniature that would actually show lights. So I'm putting some on the finger, some on the palm of the hand. You're going to see me put some paint on the side of the cape as well, but right now I'm building up mainly on the hand. Now initially I'm going with the blue. It might be a little bit hard to see on the camera. This is the other thing. When you do effect like this, you're better start easy and slow. Like, don't go for a super bright color off the bat, because the darker color will allow you to fall back easier if this is not what you like. So I'm going back on the side of the cape here. The first layer was dry. Back on the scroll, add a little bit more blue. Not forget the back of the scroll. The back of the scroll is actually pretty much all exposed to the sword. And don't forget, what you're doing is you're tinting an element with the same color as the light color. Nothing more. So a little bit more on the back of the cape, more on the side, and this is why you want either very thin paint or paint that's diluted with something like quick shade mixing medium, because what I'm doing right now is, because the paint is almost transparent, it allows me to build the effect slowly, and that's pretty good. Alright, so back on the hand, another layer. Basically this is just making the blue stronger. Now it's time to build up. I used some bold titanium white from Pro Acryl. I'm going to mix some of that titanium white with a little bit of blue, and I'm going to add some quick shade mixing medium to it as well. And this is what I'm going to use for the second pass, for the second color, the brighter color. I'm damping my brush there and validating the transparency of my paint. And I'm putting this closer to the main areas of light. Now, one important thing is the closer you are to the light, the stronger the light is. So this is what the mix of white and blue here aims at doing. If we were super far from light, the light would be basically faded. It would not be as bright. So we would not go all the way to white, basically. Some more, a little bit more white towards the bottom of the cape. And already you see the effect is building up quite nicely. The hand is kind of shining, which is good. This is exactly what you want. Now in this case, when I painted that model, I did a mistake. I went back there a little bit too early. My paint was not quite dry. Don't do the same mistake. Do wait that your paint is fully dry. And you see me look at the model a lot. Like when I'm shaking the model and not putting paint on it, is because I'm looking at the model. And what I'm doing right now is that the white on the hand appeared to be too strong. So I picked up some blue and I went back on top of the white. But since the base color in there was white, the blue is still coming out stronger than the first layer of blue that I did there. And the effect is starting to show quite nicely there. You can see that the hand is actually lit up. The side of the cape is also lit up. I'm adding some of that blue color on the side of the cape and on the skull. That is because if the hand is a source of light, light would actually be showing up on these elements, right? So really, OSL is all about that, is think of light and look around you and look at how light affects your clothes. Look how light affects the color of a wall, the color of your face. Next time you're in a nightclub, look at the face of the people around you when their face are like blasted with the light that are all around them. That is all OSL. Just that in miniature painting, we have a tendency to think as OSL as there's a source of light directly on the model that's emitting light, but that's not always quite the case. Alright, so now you see how the effect turned up on the side of the cape, on the scroll as well, and in the hand. You can see that the hand is actually brightened up, like the side of the cape on the face and the side of the cape on the chest as well. And the effect is pretty decent at the moment. This was not super long, it was rather easy, and basically that's it. So I hope that you learned quite some things on this video. A couple of rules of thumbs: don't go crazy on your effect. Start low and build up. And it's okay to not do all of these effects all of the place all the time. If you want to do something quick and tabletop, thin down your paint and go slowly. And basically that's it. You go slowly, think of light, take a flashlight and use a flashlight to look at how light is moving around you, and that will allow you to understand light basically a whole lot more. Now we're going to do a lot of lighting in the next couple of videos, because I'm going to be doing some busts, and when you're doing larger scale busts and stuff like that, it's all about lighting. So OSL, the thing is, with fantasy miniature, we think of OSL as an effect where the light is glowing and all of that type of things. But basically every time that you're painting a miniature, you should be painting the miniature thinking about light. So it's a little bit all the time like OSL, like when you're painting a shadow on a face. If you look at the bust that I painted a couple of weeks back, the face is full of shading and stuff like that. That is light. That is how light gets propagated on the face of the model. Now, I didn't call that OSL back then, but that's pretty much what it is. How does light affect a part of the miniature? And that's what you need to think about when you are painting. So I hope that you learned something here. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any more suggestions for video, please by all means do them. Alright, have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.